football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich buses today. A single from only £1.20, a return from only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talking Town. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and that's right, we are about 50 hours away from the weekend officially beginning on Talking Town. It's the Wednesday show. We're over the midweek hump. We've done the Monday show. We're over the midweek hump, and we're looking now forward to the weekend and another fixture. Cambridge on the horizon. I have titled tonight's show a derby? Surely not, because I don't consider it a derby, and I hope none of you do. But maybe you do. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you how to think and what to feel. If you do, let me know. I know Ben Moore likes to call it the Ben Moore Derby. Didn't quite go to plan, the Ben Moore Derby 1.0. So let's try 2.0, shall we, Ben? It must be harsh, actually, being a young guy at college. Your team is 2-0 up, cruising, and then you capitulate. I'm not quite sure if I could have gone in Monday morning. So if you did, fair play to you. I could have also titled tonight's show Q&A, Town Talk, Recruitment, Bottle Tops and Ball Boys. I could have really gone any direction with the title of the show. I'll let you decide in which direction. As always, the narrative and the discussion point is driven. Monday's show, by the way, if you've not actually checked it out, was wild. Myself and the two contributors spoke after the show and we're just like, wow, that was wild, particularly after a 1-0 win, not a defeat, not the end of a season. And it's because you guys and girls wanted to have your say, and it could have gone all night long, to be honest with you. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I thank you ever so much for getting behind the content in the way that you do. Gino Casio, hope our deal with Adidas goes on and we can have the black kit for a waist strip. That would be a good earner for the club. Jason Clayton, not sure. But like you said, I would love it to be Adidas or Nike. I know Matt would probably love a Hummels kit. I'm sure we'll ask him at some point. We've got Harry Butcher. Adam, who has seen the Talking Town Time Machine. I did play the wrong Sony PlayStation startup, which for a man of my age is just disgusting and disgraceful behaviour, because I grew up on PlayStation. I'd never had anything else. I should have known the difference between a PS1 and a PS2 startup. Sound. Chris Boyd spent today collecting bottle tops. Anyone know if the ball boys and girls have had a bollocking yet? You got to love a fan Q&A. You never know what questions are going to come up and in what way. Chris Boyd, I find it inspiring last night. Best bit was when McKenna jumped in, took control and said, I'll take that one, and then spoke brilliantly about young Simpson. Showed a sea change in communication with us. Okay, while Chris sorts himself out, you can support the platform through Ko-Fi and by becoming a YouTube member. Obviously, by supporting the platform, you enable us to do shows like this, big shows in the future, wink nudge, not going to say anything else. And of course, every bit of content you see on the platform, from the time machine to the away day guide tomorrow, to tonight's show, to the match day tickets, so we don't do them looking from cars. All the content that we do, you people on the screen make it possible. So if you wish to join that illustrious group, then please hit the link in the chat now. One-off or monthly contributions. Right, bring our first contributor in. He was on Sunday. He's not going to be on for, I think, about 10 days from tonight. I can hear the sound of rejoicing up and down Suffolk. It is, of course, Tenerife-bound Media. Welcome in, Mr. Phillips.
How are we all doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
It was me thinking I had 2 weeks off and I'm back already.
No. Well, you got to use your full squad at Talking Town Towers. Big Fish Tom James couldn't do it, so we thought we'd draft in the man that's going to have 10 days off. About 10 days, I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah. I've been packing today, getting ready. I've got a 2 a.m. alarm call. Nightmare for me. 6 o'clock.
2 a.m. alarm call?
Yeah, it's a 6 o'clock flight.
I'd love to know the earliest alarm call people have had in the chat.
Matt Stannard, I will be watching on iFollow from my balcony in the hotel. Hopefully, yeah, we should get there about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Same time difference in Canary Islands. So yeah, I paid me £10. I sit and watch. I could phone in, couldn't I?
You could. Are you that sort of fan then? When you go on holiday during, are you going during the season, which is a rookie mistake anyway?
Blame the missus.
Yeah, but are you that sort of fan then? You go away and you still like get your iPad out and.
My best one was when I went over another time we was in Tenerife and we played Barnsley. Remember we were 2 down and we won 5-3. And I went and watched that in a bar called The Courtyard in Los Gigantes. So I went over and watched that. And it was me and a Norwegian Ipswich fan who'd been part of the, like Colin and Graham, been following Ipswich all those years. And at half time when we're 2 down, the geezer at the bar comes up and goes, "All right, lads, look, we've got a crowd in now for Strictly Come Dancing. Do you still want the football on?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "But you're 2 down." I said, "No, we'll stick with it. We'll stick with it." So I'm glad we did.
For Strictly Come Dancing.
They were shutting that live. You have the board outside.
Yeah.
Ipswich Barnsley on Sky. Strictly Come Dancing, BBC One. It's like the big list.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'm not that sort of. I don't know if I am that sort of fan. I mean, I'll check the Twitter device, if I'm away, but watch it. I'm not quite sure.
Because they've got these huge dishes on the bar, so you go in there and they'll ask which game you want to see. So he goes, "Are you West Bromwich Albion? Are you Forest? Are you Villa?" And I was going, "No, Ipswich." He goes, "I'll come around there then." And he goes, "Here's your Sky." It's good. I like it. I mean, that's what people like, isn't they? They actually like having British home comforts, but with the weather.
I don't. I'm not a big fan of that. Like when you go to Benidorm or wherever you go, never been to Benidorm, so I wouldn't know. But it's Ari's pub. I don't want Ari's pub. I want Pedro's.
Oh yeah, I like both.
Tapas bar. Do you know what I mean, or whatever?
Yeah.
If I went to Ari's bar, I'd stay in Leeds.
What does old Mickey Flanagan say? He goes, "We want to play bingo, and we want to somewhere where we can get a roast on Sundays."
Pretty much. Right. As Mike Woods rightfully says in the chat, support the platform also by hitting the like button, people. It takes you 1 minute, 1 second even, and it's one little finger. That's all it takes. So click it, hit the like button. While you're doing that, I will...
quickly, Martin, Robert Grimsey's mentioned on one of our shows. We've got Talking Knockouts coming soon. For Fury and White, Robert Grimsey. So tune into that at the end of April.
Absolutely. Well, while you're looking forward to that and hitting that like button, I'll fill your senses with the best intro that has ever been created. Our resident Peaky one with the fireworks, Mr. Tuxford, how are you?
Hello, boys. You all right?
It's an Essex takeover.
Essex in the area.
Look at this.
Big up.
We bought some swagger to Suffolk, haven't we? We bought some swagger to Suffolk tonight.
Indeed.
Is that what you call it? Is it a bit of swagger? How are you, Mr. Tuxford?
Well, I've got COVID, lads, so not great, but I'm here. I'm alive. So.
Mate, you didn't say that. I will just say to people at home, I didn't hold a gun to his head and say, "Look, I don't care. You got COVID, all right? You're coming on the show." You said yes. You're coming on. It's the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, that is very true. So, but yeah, to be fair, I'm all right. It's just a bit more of a bit of a lingering cold, to be honest. So, but yeah, unfortunately, I probably got it over the weekend, I think. So, yeah, about 3 or 4 days in.
Right. What's Matt Stannard referencing here, Tux? Your podcast, Apprentice Influence. Tell me more. What's gone down?
Oh, yeah. So we've been working with the apprentice lady, Harpreet Kaur. She's got she was winner of the Apprentice. And if people have been watching it, it was a company called Oh So Yum.
Yeah.
We've just done the website for her and working on the digital marketing for her as well. So yeah, it's quite an exciting project. So yeah, thank you, Matt.
Was she the winner?
She was the winner. Yeah.
Is she the one that owns half the company with her sister?
Yeah.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
Is that allowed in the rules? Or is that a bee's nest I'm opening up there in terms of the apprentice?
I don't know if it's against. I don't know if it's against the rules, but obviously he does just invest in one person. Obviously, that person being in the show at the end, blah blah blah. But
so does she own less of the company now than than Lord Sugar technically? Because like,
To be honest,
surely it's
I don't know.
25. Wow, what? This is amazing. I don't watch The Apprentice anymore. I'm not seen it since the Donald Trump days. That's and the OJ.
Oh, American Apprentice
with a great theme tune. Money, money,
Yeah.
money, money.
Money.
It's a great tune. Yeah, great tune. I hope you it remains just a cold for you.
Yeah,
Tuck.
get well soon, Tux. Yeah,
Is it your first time with the vid?
Yes, it is. Virgin with it, yeah.
first
Okay.
time bid stuff. Mm.
I've only had it once. Matt, have you ever had?
No,
Corona?
not knowingly. Not knowingly. I'm sure I have.
You're a transmitter then.
Yeah.
No, so it's not nice. I wish you nothing but the best there, Tux. If you do have to drop out, just let me know. Just go. Don't worry. But I feel like a school teacher. If you feel sick, just go.
I'll put my hand up if I need the toilet. Put it like
No need to. No. So I feel like a school teacher all of a sudden. Harry's also got COVID. Carrie, likewise, nothing but good vibes. Wish you nothing but the best. Simon had a husky ride in Lapland. Try and listen to Town playing Sheffield United with minus 40 degrees. He called that a holiday?
That's difficult to make that one. I suppose you got a reception.
Surely, Tux, when you go on holiday, it's for that big thing in the sky that radiates heat.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily. If you want a cold holiday, you might go to Iceland or somewhere like that. So yeah, I mean, well, I think for me, I much prefer like a very sort of like hot, proper relaxed holiday.
Yeah, me too.
But I have also experienced going into like an English foreign bar, watching Ipswich against Wolves. I think it was about 10 years ago. So yeah, I mean, if the team are there and they're on Sky, which is very rare, so why not bloody watch it? You know,
exactly. Mm.
Yeah, I did watch the derby on my honeymoon. I will be honest with that one. That's the derby. The derby's always got to be watched, whether you can win or not.
What was the score in that then?
Well, I've only been married 7 years, 6 years, 5 years. I've been married for a while.
This is not when Bart went runabout, is it?
No, it's when Gergin was in goal and him and Skews did their double act. They were quite famous for. They did it a couple of times with the ball in the air and then I'll grab and steered in between them. And, yeah, did he call? Did he not? And then at Reading, got the same thing again. Did he call? Did he not? Get him gone. Joe, I've got some family in Iceland at the moment, and they sent some pictures through him. My response probably wasn't what they wanted to hear. I just said, "Looks like Felix, though." I'm quite sure they wanted to hear that at that moment, but it did. Right, we do have a prediction league to play, Matt. 4 fixtures as Town are playing Cambridge. We've also got the all-important Ipswich Town FC women versus Southampton FC women's fixture in amongst the 4. Obviously, Town women are top of the table. Southampton ladies are, I believe, second in the table, but have got a mountain of games in hand. So it's at home. Just how much of a huge game is this one for the ladies?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how many teams get promoted out of the division. Is it just champions?
Champions go forward to face the champions of the other league.
Right. Playoff.
So it's us versus Wolves at this moment in time.
Oh, okay. So in theory, you can win your title in that tier, but not be promoted.
Yeah, I will show you on the screen just now what I'm talking about there. So that's the Google. You should be able to see that. Let me take the
Sean Gledding. Money,
Sean,
money.
big man. Thank you very much. 449.
Maybe we should do that. We should play that every time someone.
Oh, I should. You're right. Yeah, I should. Right. So yeah, look, Wolves currently are on top of that division now.
Yeah.
But Derby are pushing them quite hard, as you can see. So it would be
filed in third.
Yes. So there we are. Look, Southampton.
Oh wow, yeah.
3 games in hand. So it's important we get a result, I think.
That is absolutely. And also Oxford just behind them. Well, good luck to them. I mean, they had their little moment in the sun, didn't they? On the BBC against West Ham. Tough game, wasn't it? Of course, but this is more their level. So good luck to them. Big game, yeah, absolutely.
And Tux, for you, I'm gonna bring up, of course, but why would I not? Ipswich Town B team away to Harrogate. I'm sure I heard someone mention Alan Judge did an interview with Sky Sports 3.
He did, yeah, I read it.
Did he say he was surprised that he left because he thought he was playing well?
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that clip. He said it was. I think it was Paul Cook came in and told him after the Wimbledon game, the 3-0. You won't you won't be playing for the club again because we don't want to activate your release clause. And he carried on going in training and being with the lads and everything, but he just wasn't up for selection. I mean, what did come out of the interview was that he actually wanted to go to QPR. He wanted to make that move, but Evans told him he couldn't, basically. So he kind of put that to the back of his mind. But he did say that first loan spell with us when he came in, 6 or 7 weeks, he said it was some of the best football I've ever played. He really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Good old Evans, Tux. Always knew the right time to sell a player, didn't he?
He did.
We'd have been gutted if he'd gone, though, wouldn't we, Tux? We'd have been gutted if he'd left.
I think at that point, he was probably our best player. That season we kind of went down, really. But it's a difficult one because, we've had, loan players come in before and then been made a permanent deal and it's not worked out as well. But it's so difficult because I think he's not been the player for me since Hine broke his leg, basically.
No,
because I thought he was a really good player at Brentford. Unfortunately, he's not really done it for Cole U this year either, to be honest. And I thought he would go there and rip it up, to be honest. But I've got a lot of friends that are Cole U fans, and they said that they've been really disappointed with him. Like the set pieces, I was talking to my mate the other night, and he said his set pieces were dreadful. So
he said he kept getting played on the left wing for Ipswich, he said, which I didn't want to. I didn't want to play that. He said, "I'll do the running. I'll run all day," he said, "but it's just not my position that I wanted to be in." So.
Well, there you go. That's Alan Judge on your list of players that left and want to come back. How far behind Aaron Drinnan is he?
Who, me?
Yes.
Well, I'd have Drinnan back in a heartbeat.
I know you bloody would.
But, I think with Judge, I think it was time for him to go. For a lot of those players, it was time for them to go anyway.
I agree.
Yeah, he was just so frustrating to watch at times, and I do feel sorry for him in the sense that he was played out of position, square pegs round holes, classic sort of stuff under Evans, really. But yeah, I don't know. It was time for him to go, really.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's just not done it for Cole U. I did think he would go there. And
division below, he was an international player as well. I'd agree with that, though. Yeah, he was frustrating to watch, as was the rest of the team.
Absolutely.
The frustration jigsaw.
Talking of time to go, last night, the Q&A. Sounds like there's some things going to be going, some things going to be arriving. There's plenty of talk today, last night, etc. about that Q&A. As I said at the start of the show, Tux, I could have titled the show Town Talk, Recruitment, Bottle Tops, Ball Boys. What were your sort of takeaways from the Q&A last night then?
I think the main one for me was, there's lots of good talking points, but for me, I'm really excited about how the stadium's coming on. And I know Ashton's kind of said in previous interviews, like with the screen coming and the concourse being improved and stuff like that. And I think those things, they're just such little things, but they are massive in terms of our fan appreciation from match day perspective. I just think it's been so encouraging because he said that from the moment that he's come in, and he's saying what he's doing, and it seems to be working. I know it's going to take time, but even the designs on the Cobbold stand, they look really good as well. So when you see things like that, it just gives you a bit more of an added buzz, I think, to go to your hometown club, your Portman Road, your fortress as a fan. You want to be excited to watch your team playing it. I just feel like a lot of it was that Evans has let that Portman Road stadium go down to shit, basically, and it's such a shame to see it go like that as well. But that was kind of the main thing for me. I also liked, Kieran McKenna's kind of confidence. I think, as time has gone on, he has really warmed to the crowd. Results help that, but it seems to me that when he speaks, people listen. He's got that kind of authority already that people respect, and I think that's quite a hard thing to just earn. But yeah, again, season ticket holders, I've just renewed my season ticket, so it's just encouraging to see so many season ticket holders come in. And I think it said something about 41% of them were new that didn't have them last year or this year, sorry. So yeah, it's really encouraging signs.
Yeah, that is a great number, the 41%, particularly Matt. What else you want to add on top of what Tux has said there? Because there was lots to really unpack from the evening. £4 from Felix. Thank you very much. We appreciate you, Felix.
Felix.
And Blue Half Boy, wish someone had asked price point for Town TV. I don't know that answer, Blue Half, but I bet it's still going to be more expensive than Talking Town's $4.99 package. Get involved. Any chance? Go on, Matt. Over to you.
Well, that's a relief, isn't it? That's the big thing, isn't it? Because no one really likes iFollow. Remember all the wavy cameras and we thought
Brenner.
We thought that
Gav, I've got a quick question for you. If Mark Ashton gave you an email, even a call maybe in this day and age, if he said to you, Mr. Lambert, would you come and host Town TV? What would you say?
Well, I can't say that we've spoken particularly maybe about that subject, but who's to say we haven't already had terms?
Oh, juicy gossip. Juicy gossip.
I ain't saying anything. I ain't saying anything.
Well, it sounds like juicy gossip to me.
I ain't saying anything. I ain't saying nothing, Matt.
Yeah, the Town TV. Yeah, it's good. Look, he's done exactly the same thing, hasn't he, at Bristol? He went at Bristol City. So I suppose it was only a matter of time. But no one's liked iFollow, have they? No one wants something that's just like, pick it off a shelf. It's exactly the same presentation as what, I don't know, bloody MK Dons get or wherever it might be. So it's great. And I will have to presume that there's going to be some kind of presentation team and there'll be commentary and pundits, very similar to what they do at Charlton. Well, you'll remember, Martin, I got one of my goats was Matt Holland, was all in on Charlton when we played them at the Valley last season. Yeah. I was like, it broke my heart. But I think it'll be something along those lines. And it's got to be, it will still be a tenner, I would say. But it's got to be worth a tenner, isn't it? iFollow is not worth a tenner. It's like one camera. It's the radio commentary synced over. This doesn't work very well, I don't think. And it's lumpy, as I've always said. I've renewed my Cubs TV season ticket, the Chicago Cubs baseball team. So that's cost me about just over £100. Is that for the whole season, which is 162 games? We're probably doing, I'd pay the same for that for just 16 Town games, whatever it might be. So
would you?
Well, 160 quid, isn't it? 16 times 10, 160 quid.
Oh, bloody hell, fire.
No, so 10 games, sorry. Yeah, I can't do me maths. Yeah, 10 games, 100 quid. Yeah. It's not. It's a joke. You've done that. You could have done that in 2 months.
Before just address what Tuck said there, can you imagine, the jokes, because the Lemons would, can you imagine broadcasting 5, 4, 3. Hello, good afternoon, welcome to. Can you imagine social media is just literally eating itself, and then Rick pops up with the. Can you imagine it? I'm sorry, that's made my evening.
Look, I'm just imagining the start of next season. You're going to be the new host of Town TV, and our new signing is going to be Aaron Drennan walking.
I already am.
And it's just going to be unreal. I think it's going to be
the
start of our. Sorry.
I already am with this. Busiest platform known to man, this.
Yeah, but as in like Aaron Drennan coming through is the first summer signing.
No.
You announcing that on your debut.
Wouldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Well, no. I'd say sorry, Mark.
The deal's off.
I'd have it written into my contract, Tux, that I can get one transfer veto per year. So, no, I'm not doing it. Then they'll probably go and sign Cole Skews now, my luck.
But it's going to be, it's not next season, it's the season after.
Yeah, it's season after.
Still got iFollow.
What content do you want to see? What content do you want to see on there? Give them an idea. I'm sure they're watching. Is
that you confirming that you're the new host then? You were just
no.
I think Tux has got money on this. It's been down
yes.
How much money for Martin Lambert to host Talking Town?
Yeah.
No. I can't say categorically it won't happen, but I can probably be pretty close to say it won't happen. But what would you want to see on there? What do you want to see? Changing rooms with Ashton and McKenna, where they go in and revamp Playford Road, because that's going to happen as well.
Well, I imagine that they probably mould it on something like a MUTV or Chelsea TV or something like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking it might be. But generally, it's obviously got to be some match action on there. Like it's got to be as Matt's saying, take over kind of iFollow's coverage of it all essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder whether like it won't just be for match days. I would have thought there'll be like sort of training interviews on there, player interviews, etc., etc. It's a little bit like what was it before? There was another service that Ipswich released. It was ages ago, like 15.
Yeah, I know what you're on about. Yeah. Very, very similar.
Yeah, so it might be something like that.
It's only recently it's all gone sort of cookie cutter template, isn't it, for the whole of the football league, as it were.
I think Harrogate Town, newly into the Football League, they got their own. They kept their own service.
Yeah.
So it'd be good. I think
I know Sunderland's got their own one. They've got like a Roker Report, I think it is. I don't know if it's actually that, but it's like the similar sort of stuff where they've got their own commentary. They have access to the match action, that kind of thing, really. And I think that really works because I've watched a couple of Sunderland games this year with my girlfriend's dad. He's a Sunderland fan, so watching that kind of stuff, it's all fan led as well. So it's quite nice, really.
Yeah. I think day to day during the week will be the same as what you get on iFollow. I think the match day thing will be, you're right. I think it'll be like a presence pitch side and a reporter maybe. You have player what they need to do on the match day is try and bring the match program that you buy to life. So you've got those you've got the Soccer AM style interviews. You've got the serious thing with Morsey before the game starts, all that kind of stuff. That's how it should work.
Lee Anderson, we're going to have Fisherman's Coaching Weekly. Colin Plum, standards. That's what you have to have in a proper club. I don't know what you're saying.
I tell you what would be good, just thinking of Colin there, is why not have the full version of the 81 UEFA Cup final, both legs, or they brought out the DVD, didn't they, the boys of 81? But unless you've got a DVD player, you can't watch it anymore. So, I mean, have that as to stream.
I think everyone's got a DVD player, Matt. It is 2022.
But it won't be in Well,
if that's shown at Portman Road, you won't get rid of Colin. It would just live there, I think, watching it.
Carl Brooks, I've heard me and Tux asked me the Carragher and Neville of Town TV.
Yeah, we could do.
Yeah. Are you maybe going to start walking across the pitch just randomly midway through an interview? There they go. Oh, the way they do those on Sky makes me laugh. But okay, another thing, catering being brought in-house. I was moaning about that at the weekend.
This is Martin's takeaway, this one, isn't it? This is the Lambert takeaway, literally. In-house catering.
If I can't make a bit of money, I want to save a bit of money. That's literally the only mantra I live by.
Is it going to be like an American thing, do you think? Do you think the Americans might have a little bit of a say in that one?
Oh, do you know, I'd love a bit of the old, what they've got at the Denver Broncos Stadium, where you just literally walk in, grab it off the shelf, walk out, and it just scans it. No cash, no card, no queue. Literally, it's like it's almost like an Amazon store or whatever it's called, where you walk in and it's all computerized. So as you walk out, it reads the barcode and takes it with it takes it off. And
I think one of the best stadium experiences I've had is when I went to Euro 2016 and I went to watch Spain against Ireland, I think, in the Bordeaux Stadium. And going in there, you could choose like pizzas, fish and chips, all that kind of stuff. And it was like, great kind of like food to go and have. But also I do like kind of the football kind of grub. And for me, I love a Bovril. As long as I don't take the Bovril away, that's the main thing for me.
That's what the crunch had when we went to MK Dons, Tux. I said, what do you want to drink, Rich? Let's get me a Bovril.
Colin says alcohol is what the standards he was referring to. Hang on, have you seen what some of the stuff football clubs advertise? I don't think alcohol is a problem. It's like non-fungible doodah. I don't know what the fuck a non-fungible token is. Mark hopes Ipswich TV doesn't clash with Talking Town. Well, I can't be in two places at one, Mark, can I? Chris Boy, I might just keep fueling this. Why not?
It sounds to me, Martin, that Talking Town is now going to be rebranded as Town TV, and that's Ashton's just he's just announced that for you. I think
it's a cheaper option.
As long as he's not paying me £5 notes. Chris Boyd, 3 weeks in and Cruncher declares to be for the platform and quits the mic drop.
That could happen.
Really could. Gav, that's when you discover your brother has shaved 6 pasties, 4 sausage rolls, and 4 bags of crisps in your pocket when you weren't looking, or shoved rather. Did make me laugh. Guy asked about the water. Yeah, why did somebody ask about the bottle? Hang on, when do they start taking bottle tops off? That's what I want to know, because I had a bottle of water on Saturday. The guy didn't take the bottle top off.
No, they used to do it back in the Premier League days, I remember, because you used it as a weapon, throw it on the pitch. Plastic bottle tops. But yeah, I've not had the bottle top taken off me for ages.
Shit, if I can chuck a plastic bottle top from the cobble stand upper, I don't need to be watching football, Tux. I should be in the bloody Olympics, man.
This does suggest, Tux, that someone was injured from a flying bottle top at some point.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times in like England games, I think, where people have kind of thrown bottle tops on. It's more like the foreign kind of fans. But yeah, I haven't seen it at Portman Road, if I'm honest. But I can't remember the last time I went into Portman Road with a bottle anyway.
Far worse things happen at music festivals than they get covered in bottles of piss. That would annoy you, wouldn't it, Martin, if that happened to you at Portman Road? Someone just shoved a
getting covered in piss.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, Matthew, I think it probably would. Yes. It's not one of my favourite pastimes.
Can you imagine at full time? Martin, why are you wet? It's not raining. Someone's throwing piss on me.
I could give you the Urban Dictionary term of what you've just described there, son. Terrible. Ben Moore, me and Josh are the ones behind Town TV. God help us. Can you imagine, like wrestling? There's Rich live on broadcast day. It's me, Ireland. This was the whole Vince McMahon, Stone Cold, Carl Brooks. They took the lift.
Lee Anderson takes a spare bottle top with him. That's unbelievable. Nick Muller, I have pocket full of tops. Look at this. There's a whole subculture going on here that we never knew about.
You could say he's got the 4 tops.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Move on.
Come on.
Why did that guy who got up second, or what? Because it was Richie's mate first last time, wasn't it, Martin? He was there. Good to see. And then that guy, and he sat there and he thought to himself, I've got the ear of Andy Rolls, Ashton, the manager. I could ask him anything I want here. Ball boys.
Yeah,
Why? What a wasted moment. You could have asked about Morsey being captain next season or Jackson getting a contract and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think the ball boys are enough.
I wasn't quite sure where the question was coming from, though, Mark, because this year particularly, I've not had an issue. I'm notorious for shouting at anybody and everybody when my football team needs the ball back quickly, but the ball boys have been all right this year, I felt.
Well, I don't think they've been out of the ordinary. I agree. Like, you'll get the odd kid that wants to take its time and throw the ball back because it probably wants to touch the ball. But other than that, that's it, really, isn't it?
It's not a great. I do feel sorry for them, particularly when it's cold and wet and they're sitting down there, and I do feel for them. But if we're 1-0 down, get the bloody ball back quicker. But we've not been 1-0 down in such a long time. Touch wood. I don't know what that feels like.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, I don't think it's really that much of an issue. I remember, the worst one I've ever seen was that Chelsea against Swansea one, where that kid laid on the ground. But yeah, there's nothing like that. So really, I think it's people just asking silly questions to probably make a name for themselves, probably.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, well, anything else? Get it in the chat. We'd love to hear from you, Matt Stanner. I think they should arm them with the ball returners, like the T-shirt cans in the US. Here's your ball. Bam. Absolutely. We're going places, says Colin. We need to be a tad patient. Well, we are at home this Saturday, gentlemen. We are playing Cambridge. Now, over the years, there's been a number of players that have played for both clubs. I've got 2 players each for you. We're going to do a Guess Who style 60 seconds where you can bombard me with questions. I will do my best to answer them, and then you can guess at the end of that 60 seconds who, if you think you can know it earlier, then please do say. But I'll let... Are we
working in tandem here, or we're on our own?
No, on your own. I'm going to let you go first, Matt, so Tux, who's not too well, can get a gist of the type of questions he needs to come up with. You've got a player to choose from. You've got a player to guess in 60 seconds.
God.
All right? 3, 2, 1, go.
What era of Ipswich Town was this guy?
Between 2011 and 2015 and 2016. So one season.
Digby.
Fuck's sake.
Hey, champions! I'm Jesus.
I had a budgie called Digby.
What player is he from my era? Is he from kind of our era?
I'll restart the clock for you. All 3, 2, 1, go.
Is he from our era? Last kind of 10 years?
No.
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 Was it in the Premier League?
Yes. Some of it was.
I don't know.
You can ask me anything. Previous clubs. You can list the
previous clubs. Previous clubs.
Hartlepool, Leicester, Wolves, Ipswich, Cambridge, Dagenham and Redbridge, and Hibernian. Retired. No, not Chris Hogg. You got one more guess. Retired.
I was going to say him.
He looks like he retired in 2004 after 526 appearances, 24 goals.
Richard Logan.
No. If I tell you he scored the fastest Premier League goal in the year we were newly promoted, who would you tell, or one of the earlier goals, who would you tell me he is?
Wouldn't have a clue, to be honest.
Mark Venus.
Oh, fuck, really? I didn't even know he played for Cambridge.
Yep. No, I didn't either. That's why I brought him up, because I thought, fuck me, that's a good one.
That's
Venus.
a good one. That is a good one.
Nice.
Look at that chat. Look, the chat knows. Right, Matt, you got one more. Let's go.
Go for it. We started. Here we go. Again, what era? What era of Town are we talking here?
The recent era, new era.
Lancaster.
No.
God's sake. Striker?
No.
Midfielder?
No.
Defender?
No.
Goalkeeper?
Yes.
Oh shit.
I know this. I know this.
You can ask anything else. Come on. Ask away.
What other clubs has he played for?
Hatfield. I'm not going to list them all.
Hatfield.
Sorry. Royston, Cambridge, Braintree, and also Wolves. I'm not going to say where he is at the moment, though, because he's still playing.
Oh.
Prizebeck?
Not Prizebeck, no.
God damn it. He was at Braintree.
I forgot his fucking name, but I know it is.
20 seconds.
I don't know.
Louis Fenton. It's Will Norris.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you sit where he was at the moment?
Because if I said Burnley, you'd have fucking guessed it straight away.
Well, that's the idea, no?
No.
Didn't get that. I didn't know he was at Cambridge. Didn't know that.
Right. I'm sorry, Mark. You've got probably the hardest one of the lot.
Okay.
You can start it in 3, 2, 1, go.
What era?
Early 2000 to mid 2000s, 06 to 08.
Bloody hell.
Tricky.
Lee Beavers.
Not Lee Beavers. Not Lee Beavers. But he is very similar. I was in position anyway.
So what is he, centre half then, is he?
Yep.
Christ.
I think I know this. I do know this.
That's not helpful.
Former clubs.
Started at Bury Town, then went to Boston after Town, Darlington, Grimsby, Cambridge, Braintree. Correct the Mundo. Yes, Ian Miller.
I know that one.
I thought that I just did it along in what order the tabs were positioned, but I thought that was the hardest one. The school teacher, right?
Yeah. That's someone else I interviewed once. Played in the FA Trophy final. He was a really nice guy. Yeah.
He's up there, surely, with you got Ian Miller from that era, Vernon Breckersgard.
Yeah.
It's an era where you're just making really strange signings that didn't really do much.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, well, Vernon Breckersgard was the teacher.
That's right.
I'm not sure what Ian Miller was, but he used to live in Marks Tay, and his dad used to work for Parcel Force.
Really?
That.
This is unbelievable knowledge. Yeah. Yeah, he was captain of Cambridge when they beat Gosport Borough 4-0, I think it was. And the Cambridge manager was a guy called Richard Money, used to play for Liverpool. And he was one of the most intimidating people I ever had to interview. You think of all the people, one guy out of the non-league, he was the hard man.
Isn't it typical? The one night our Darlington friend isn't in the chat is the one night you have probably somebody who's made over 130 appearances for Darlington. That's a strong career at a football club. You make over 100 appearances. It really is. But on to Cambridge tomorrow. There you go. There's 4 players that have played for Cambridge and Ipswich. The Benmore Derby 2.0. We've got to be so much better, haven't we, Tux, than the previous time we played Cambridge. 2-0 up. Capitulation. Sonny Aluko's probably best game of the season. Talk to me about how you're feeling as we head into this one then.
Yeah, obviously it was really disappointing the last time we played him. I remember Aluko's goals. Just blew it, unfortunately. I think that was really the moment that Aluko really came onto the scene at Ipswich. And because I think before that, I think he played I remember watching him at Newport, didn't look match fit at all. And it was a surprise to see him in the starting lineup for that game, if I'm honest. But he was kind of the bright spark, really. I think he's sort of gone on to sort of bigger and better things here as well. So that's good. But yeah, generally the performance wasn't great, but I think I'm hoping that now, we're on a good run at the moment, but we just need to continue it, and we can only really look after ourselves at the moment, not worry about what anyone else is doing in this league. I mean, you look at the form guide with these teams that are there or thereabouts with us. They're also not losing; they're also winning and drawing. So we can only really do what we can do at this point. But I think there's still some points in the season now that are up for grabs. People will go off the board a little bit. I think you mentioned the other night, Martin, that for Sheffield Wednesday, we've got lots of games coming up, so it could be a fatigue issue and all that sort of stuff. So I'm hoping that is the case. But I think this weekend with Cambridge, I think they're going to be up for it, really. But we've just got to make sure that emotions don't get anywhere near it. Not even call it a derby day, to be honest with you, because it isn't. So we just got to crack on with it, really. So
I agree. Are we better now than we were then?
Yeah, much better. Yeah, I mean, you think about where we were when we played Cambridge. We weren't even sure who was going to be in our sort of starting 11 at that point. We didn't know our best team. The players hadn't gelled. So, I mean, at this point now, you could probably pick at least 7 or 8 players in the first team. The only real players that sort of come in and out really are the front three, to be honest with you. Yeah, at least kind of 6 or 7 names on the team sheet already. The back 5 picks itself, or back 6 picks itself really. So obviously Morsey in there and probably Backinson. So yeah, we're a much better team than we were. We're riding on confidence. We look a better outfit as well. We've got a great manager. So if you was to say to us, back then, would we be in this position? I'd probably say we should be higher, without a doubt. But at the same time, I didn't think we probably have a good a team as we do now, to be honest with you.
Does it feel a rather long time ago, Matt, this game, the first one?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I'm just looking back to when it was. It was 16th of October.
It was. So with that in mind, the same week Aluko scores the only other goal he scored this year. Yeah. Is it important? Because he had a great game on Saturday. I'm not going to deny that. He had a really good game for me. Apart from the vital stat categories that you'd like to fill.
Yeah.
Would you play him again this weekend within your whole 11? Why?
Yeah, 100%. Purely one, because he had such a good performance against them first time round, and their team hasn't changed that much, I don't believe, just looking at it here. So he had a real impact there. As we said on Sunday evening, Shah, I feel like he gets things moving a little bit more. He can, it's that Premier League experience. I've said it before. Tux is like gold dust in League One, isn't it? To have someone be able to, has played at the highest domestic level. So, I mean, pick those players when you can. I'd have Selena again playing. And I think Cambridge are there to be got out. I mean, I think someone said on Sunday, is this the game that McKenna's been alluding to, that we could put quite a few past someone, because we've not really done it in a while, have we? And, of course, these were 5-0 down at Hillsborough against Sheffield Wednesday not too long ago. Still the same set of players. Whether or not they had a bad day at the office, they certainly didn't have anyone sent off from what I can recall. So an attacking team on the front foot at home, maybe Cambridge will struggle with that. I think maybe they're probably better suited at the Abbey Stadium, I would have thought. I'm
going to show you the league table. Obviously, we're in 9th. Forget where we are for a moment, because we live in 9th. We're probably born in 9th. You've got Cambridge in 16th, played 39, won 12 games all year. They've won once in the last 5, according to the BBC, last 5, 48 points, and they've conceded 59 goals. Tux, I've got some bad news for you, though. That suggests to me then they're not going to come the same way Plymouth did on Saturday and say we can match you toe-to-toe. They're going to come and they're going to say break us down, which notoriously has been very difficult for us.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I do think they're going to come here and put 10 men behind the ball and not really want to play, to be honest. But it's also a stage in the season where they probably really do need to get sort of points on the board just to sort of confirm their spot in the division for next season. But I think they'd be quite happy with a point on the road, to be honest. So if they can get a point against Ipswich and, win at their place, point on the road, then I think they'd be happy with that, to be honest with you. But, it then stops us from, doing bits and pieces as well. So that will go down well with their fan base, I would imagine. But yeah, I think they'll turn up. They won't want to really play. It'll be like another kind of Oxford or a Cheltenham sort of finish, I think, where it'll be a frustrating one. But, we play these teams so much that we need to learn how to actually, get above that and manage that effectively. So it shouldn't really be too much of an excuse, because it's not like we just come up against these teams willy-nilly. The basis of this is a lot of teams in this league that we need to do that, and we do that next season as well. So we just got to do that, unfortunately. But yeah, I'd agree with what you're saying. I think they'll turn up and
I hope they do.
I think
that's a great point, Tubbs. And I hope they do actually turn up like that, because we've said on the show previously, that's probably McKenna's biggest challenge. How next season, if we're still in this division, how do we get through that kind of parking the bus mentality that a lot of clubs will have coming from league?
If I was an away manager, if I was a Cambridge manager ahead of Saturday, especially in their kind of position at the moment, I'd be sitting there saying, we'll stop them playing. We know that they're the best team in the league. We know they've got the best players in the league. So let's just stop them playing. Let's get in front of their faces. Let's charge them down, and they won't have time on the ball. You give Selena too much time on the ball, you know what happens. You give too much time to Aluko, you know what happens. So if you get in front of these players and the energy levels are there, okay, you can't maintain it for the whole of the game, but for the majority of the game, they'll be willing to do that, I would imagine. So that's where it's going to be difficult.
They did that in the FA Cup, Martin, against Newcastle.
They did.
Games. So I don't think it's the case, Colin. I was just saying in the comments, Colin, there, we don't be worried about Cambridge. We're not worried about it. It's how do you get around the fact that they're gonna park the bus to build the brick wall there? We couldn't do it against Cheltenham
or Morecambe.
Oh yeah, exactly. So it's not. I don't think we're particularly worried about.
No, you're not worried. What you're worried about is history repeating itself and us struggling to break a team down that may come and look to replicate a team who's with them, Cheltenham's tactics and behaviours and shithouse time, as Matt Stannard called it in the chat.
They could try and do this from a set piece. I mean, we saw Ironside was it Ironside who got the last minute equaliser at Abbey Stadium? Bullied Burgess a bit, didn't they? They could be looking for those aerial balls. They're in a funny place, Cambridge, aren't they? They're not going up and they're not going down. So who knows? They might just try and make it a bit of a spectacle. Who knows?
The great thing about football is that we all look at it in different ways. So I'm going to show you each of yours 11s and what you've put together and how you think you're going to break down Cambridge. And as you go through it, just tell us how you would go about maybe breaking down a team like Cambridge who turn up, park the bus, dig in. Tux, I'll put yours on the screen first. There you go, my friend. Yeah.
So, I mean, as I say, the back five, back six picks itself with Morsey and Backinson in front of them. And the only real sort of changes really are the front three on a game-to-game basis. And, the ones I've gone for there, Selena, I think you can't really take out of this team anymore. And then you've got kind of a Aluko, which, again, I agree with what Matt was saying. He played well in the last game. He might feel confident that he can do exactly the same again. And I think with Norwood, he's going to, show what he did against Plymouth, where, he's ready to ruffle up a centre-back. He's ready to, get involved where, the dirty bits are. And I think he is, I keep saying it, but I think he's the best striker we've got at the club currently. And I just feel like we should be playing him. And I think when he plays and he gets a run of games, you'll see him score. So that's what I've gone for my team against Cambridge. And I think that team will be more than enough to kind of break that down.
Sorry, Tux. James Norwood, it might be a name there that many at home are raising an eyebrow over. Played last Saturday. For many, was Marmite, as James Norwood normally always is. What have you brought in, Norwood?
Well, mainly it's as I say, I think he's ready to ruffle defenders' feathers, really. I know Bond's kind of got that in him as well. But I just feel, with his back to goal, or even if he's in front of goal, you feel that if he can get a shot off, he can score. And I feel like that's what we need from a striker going into these last sort of 6 games. Build the confidence, and then see where it sort of kind of takes us, really. But, for me, when he's fit, when he plays, he scores goals and he becomes an important player for us. And yes, you could say that about the same with Bond. But for me, both of them are kind of sort of same player anyway. But if I had to pick out of Norwood and Bond to start, it would be Norwood because I just think he's that bit stronger in the challenge, and he will just go for it as well. So that's what I'd go for.
A couple of questions in the chat coming in. Has McKenna played the same 11 twice on the trot? Don't think he has. And George asks, do you believe we should sign Bond? Apart from his goal scoring run, he's been very poor. What do you say to that, Tux? Do you think we should sign Bond?
I'm so 50-50 with him. I mean, it's great to say at the start of the season when he was very much scoring goals, best player on the park. But
yeah, without a doubt.
For me, he has such a massive ego, and I'm not really sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Now, I know he's an Ipswich fan through and through. I know he loves the club. That's obviously clear to see. But there's something about him, for me, that's just got that ego, and I feel like he doesn't always play to his strengths. He feels like he's got to be the main man. He's got to be, the person to lead it all the time. And you don't really. You just got to concentrate on your own game and sort of crack on with it, really. But I don't know whether that's kind of impacted maybe, the second part of his season where he feels like he needs to do that, and that's then taking a dip in his form. I don't know. But yeah, it sort of disappoints me a little bit with his ego at times. Especially when I went away to Gillingham and he came off. It's great to see, you walk around the back of the goal and he's clapping all of the fans, and that's great. But I just feel like that was quite an average game that he had as well. And I just feel like he didn't really justify the whole sort of bigger round of applause. Really.
That's the last time he scored, wasn't it? That was his last goal.
I think so, maybe.
Do you think he had the weight at the start on him a little bit, Tux?
Possibly. But I mean, when you're coming from a championship club at QPR, you're going to come in with pressure anyway, playing for your boyhood club. It's his choice at the end of the day to drop down a level. It's his choice to play for his hometown club. Not a lot of people probably would, because that pressure and that love for it is probably just a bit too much for some people. But yeah, I mean, in answer to the question, would I sign him next year? I don't know. I'd like to think there might be better options out there. I'd like to think that, with McKenna at the helm, with their kind of connection base, would they be able to attract better players?
Come on,
I think
you can
they probably
say it.
could.
You can say it. Come on, you can say it. You can say it.
Will.
There we are. You can try and dance around it.
Do you see what I'm saying, though?
I
don't know whether he would be McKenna's man. I don't think McKenna really likes him all that much. I don't think he suits that kind of play. And I don't think really Norwood suits his kind of play that he wants to play. No. He probably likes Jackson better. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we will sign him next season. And I think even if he doesn't sign for us, I don't think he'll be at QPR. I think he probably will come back to League One because he's probably found his level here. But my heart says yes, I'd love to sign him because he's an Ipswich boy. But I think from the head point of view, Kim McKenna and Martin Pert see, a better option. I think they probably could, if I'm honest.
Okay. Mike D, nah, all of them are average. Let's look forward to the summer of new strikers. I'm going to pose Tux's question to you, Matt. Big word. Means it's a small word, but it's a big word. Ego in a striker, is that good or bad?
Yeah, I think all strikers have got ego, haven't they? They are the guys that put the ball in the net at the back of the day and get the adoration of the crowd and generally people's favourite players. So I think you have to have a bit of that. You can't tell me that Messi and Ronaldo don't walk around all humble. Well, they probably do, but you've got to have that. You've got to have that inner ego. So I think you're right from that respect, Tux. It's the weirdest thing for me is how good he was at the start, and then how massively below average he's been since. Because we're talking.
The only thing I would say to that is he's played a completely different sort of system now, hasn't he? So I think a lot of the play was going through the middle of the park, and he said that he liked playing with Chaplin. Chaplin would pass in the ball, he'd go and kind of score basically. But I think we now play a system that probably doesn't suit the likes of Norwood and Bond because we seem to play it more on the floor. And I think Bond's better when the ball's going over the top of the defence. He can make that run either in the channels or centrally.
Maybe, yeah.
I just don't think maybe this sort of way of playing suits him, to be honest.
Certainly, you made a good point there because, I think probably his best goal, that one against MK Dons when Kane Vincent Young played that really long ball over the top.
Yeah.
2-touch, and it was in the back of the net, wasn't it? It's an unbelievable goal.
Exactly,
Irv says Cambridge will just keep putting the ball out for out of play for corners. 0-0 written all over it. Mark would keep him. He's proven he's a goal scorer, but just needs a goal now. Chris Boyce. I think the truth about Macaulay Bonne, as I keep saying, I think is somewhere in between the two, red hot and completely dry. Somewhere in there is the true Macaulay Bonne, where he's actually just probably a 12-goal a season striker, in truth.
I feel like if he hadn't scored those goals in August and September, he'd be in the same conversation as Piggott right now. It's not worked out for him here.
Yeah, but he did, didn't he? But he did, to his credit.
So was that a fluke?
Well, this is what I say. I don't think it was. I think somewhere between is the true. And I think as you
just
go
think
on,
it's the system
heavier,
for me. You know, we've not played to his strengths. We were really playing to his strengths at the start of the season. It was great for him, but it wasn't going as well for the team.
And didn't start the season either, did he? Because
Yeah,
Piggott
exactly.
started. Was it Piggott against Morecambe? Yeah, and then Bonne came off the bench to score, didn't he? For the Norwood header. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, you know, you could look at Piggott. Like, he's definitely playing the system he was kind of used to at Wimbledon, but he's also not scored the goals. He's not really been effective. But sometimes it's just not right. It's not the right player for the right club or the right club for the player. But
Lee makes a good point in the comments. The header at Lincoln was a decent goal. That was a good finish. Cross into the box.
Yeah.
I
think the goals that Bonne has scored, they haven't been poor. They haven't been, you know, just tap-ins or anything. They have been good goals.
Other than Gillingham.
Well, yeah. But
that was a good lead-up play, wasn't it? That goal.
Yeah, and they're good. They all were good goals. But I think, as I say, I just think it's a system change that's kind of affected him a little bit. And we're just not playing to his strengths currently at the moment. And I think that's why McKenna doesn't start him. You know, he plays him really when he has to.
Okay, all right.
McKenna did allude to that last night, didn't he? In terms of like, I've got it here. Doesn't believe in a set system. Really talks about numbers like 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1. I talk about roles, responsibilities, and spaces to exploit. And I mean, whether or not Bonne, you would imagine Bonne would be able to fit into that system somehow. But
I'd be disappointed if we moved away from the current system that we're playing. So
you like it, yeah?
For me, we have a good, solid League One side there that just really needs, like, maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 players, maybe even 4 players, just to come in, you know, as genuine good quality, you know, in the striking position, maybe another midfielder alongside Morsey, something like that.
You like Big T? You a Big T fan?
I don't know. I mean,
pick your words carefully now.
I don't know. I mean, it just all goes back. It goes back to quality for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure about it really, but I just feel like we've got the crux of a really good team there.
Yeah, great.
And if he then goes and changes it to, I don't know, a back 4, a back 3, whatever it might be, I just don't see why we'd be changing that, because we've got a solid defensive unit.
Yeah.
We've got 7 or 8 players that you can pick on merit now that go into that team. The only thing you really need to change is probably the forward areas, maybe.
Yeah, you're totally right.
And just bring in some more quality. Like, I don't see what you would change from that.
And players, you know, as Mick Mills, I think, often says himself on Radio Suffolk, they do crave those partnerships. They do crave that consistency, and you've driven and installed a system that works for now. There's no reason to think it won't work in the future. So I don't see many wholesale tweaks here. But I do understand what McKenna was saying yesterday. And yeah, that's modern day coach speak for we'll do everything we can to win football games. Long and short, really. Bonne can get into pockets or into the channels, often offside. Sorry, I left that bit in. Birds and Sleen, if we get them both on the ball Saturday, then we'll win comfortably. George Carr reminded that Salah is out of contracts. Yeah, well, we've got this new recruitment guy, but has anyone stopped to think to ask the really important questions like, has he got a recruitment room? Where's he going to sit? Is he in the corridor? These are the important questions that nobody within the press has stopped to ask. We want to know the answers. Maybe he's in the, in the car park in his car, but like Ricky Gervais, David Brent, the old vacuum cleaner salesman. Who knows? Right.
Well, this new head of recruitment, will he be recruiting for the host of Town TV?
Does his remit go that far? I think that lies with Ashton.
I personally think you fancy a little bit, to be honest, Tux. I mean, I can see you in the role, suited, booted, cuff linked up.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say no.
Hat off, though.
Well,
Would
no,
you
I
wear a
couldn't do
hat with a
that.
suit?
No, couldn't do that.
Have you
I'm
worn
not
a hat
taking
with
me
a
out for
suit
no one.
previously?
Well, the thing is, I would have a go, but we can't beat you, can we? So we need you, I think, as the host of Town TV. To be honest, I think it's just a done deal, Martin. You might as well just say it.
I
And
don't know.
you're gonna rebrand Talking Town as Town TV.
Considering the people you've worked with in the past, it's very strong words. I thank you, and I'll pay
For
you
the
later.
fans, by the fans. There you go.
Absolutely. Safety guy, do you keep Talking Town running when the season over, Gov? I discovered the chat close season this year.
Yeah.
Talking Town never sleeps. Safety guy, we never sleep.
It's a short summer, isn't it, as well? Because we're back on. First game is July the 30th, I think.
It is, which means the season, everything will be pushed forward. Love it. Kieran says, I would love to get Alanga. I think that's how you pronounce it, because I can imagine Kieran McKenna working with him before I can see it. Absolutely right, Matt. Your lineup is such. You've got Big T in midfield. In fact, it's almost identical, except you think the key to unlocking Cambridge Saturday, is not James Norwood. It's not Joe Pigott. It is Macaulay.
It is Macaulay. For the eagle-eyed of you, this is exactly the same team I had up on the Friday show as well.
Are you being lazy here?
I just felt, as the guys were saying in the comments there, like he doesn't really pick the same team twice. And as Tux correctly says, the midfield is picking itself with the two wing-backs. The back three while Edmondson's out, it's correct. The keeper ain't going to change. So it comes down to some striking options. Aluko was good at the Abbey Stadium. Felt like he had their number at that time. Scored 2 of the 3 goals he's got this season. Makes sense to have him in there. Why would you leave Selena out? I still don't think he's had a great season, but against a middle to lower tier opposition in Cambridge in League One, he's got to be head and shoulders above. And Macaulay doesn't seem to have had much of an opportunity recently. You've seen Pigott leading the line at Oxford. Macaulay obviously came on. I don't think Pigott did a great job. I thought Nord was all right at the weekend, putting the across for the goal. Fair play to him for that. He was probably a little bit average in other areas. So I just feel like it's probably Macaulay's turn with Jackson not being available.
Are you just being lazy here and in holiday mode already and manning it in? Are you just did you just pull out a previous lineup? You lazy soul.
No, not at all. What is going to get a signing of Macaulay Bonne over the line? Because McKenna wasn't here when he scored all the goals, right? So he's only seen him score once since December. It was in that January game at Gillingham, wasn't it? So
I think he's made his mind up on him.
He needs to score goals. It'll make his mind up if he scores goals. If he can suddenly replicate Tux the form he got in August over this last month of the season, it might sway. But like you rightly said as well, and I totally agree, could be some better options out there. We have got the financial power to go and get better options.
Yeah, and we've got a recruitment from Man United coming in, so who knows where the future will go. Ben Moore, we need more of a goal threat Saturday. Chaplin gives us that. I agree. I'd like to see Chaplin play.
Because they said the announcement of that was imminent, didn't they, in the thing last night? And of course, we get it this morning. Again, it's like great timing. You've got the forum last night. Everyone's quite excited. We're seeing the buzz in the comments. It's good to be an Ipswich Town fan again. Now you've got head of recruitments come in. It feels like things are moving. And if we don't go up this season, then so be it. But at least it feels like there's momentum going into the summer, certainly behind the scenes anyway.
Yeah. Absolutely. Almost like these things are just magically thrown together, Matt. Great timing after the fans Q&A.
I mean, who'd have guessed?
Absolutely. Colin Plum, you said you liked DeLuca last Saturday, Ben. Make your mind up, pal. Hey, it's football, as Cruncher would say. You can. That's the whole point. You can change your mind. You can change your opinions. Score predictions then, as we round up our midweek extravaganza. Tux.
Sorry, what was the question?
Score prediction, please.
What do you think the score
prediction? I
won't get this, will I, on Town TV?
No.
What was that? Sorry?
No,
what did you say?
No, you
Come on, Darren.
No.
Listen, son. No, I'm not going to get that. I'm not going to get that. Come on, Matt. Come on, Matt Holland. Listen to the question. No, I'm not going to get that, am I? I'm not going to get that.
I think it's going to be tight. I do think it will be. They will come and sit behind the ball. So I do think 1-0 Ipswich.
Oh, love it. 1-0, 3 points. Playoff dream still flickering away just ever so slightly. Matt, what do you think the score will be from your beach in Tenerife?
Well, I think they're going to play something like 4-2-3-1. which probably they'll come into a 5, won't it, in the midfield to try and block that out a little bit. So I do feel like the pace down the channels is going to be really key for us. And Aluko starting that and Burns doing that good stuff on the right-hand side and getting the balls in. I think if we could score early, then that will force Cambridge's hand a little bit. That was the reason we probably drew Cheltenham in the end, wasn't it? Because Burns missed that sitter early doors and they had the comfort of not having to win the game. So, but I do feel like Cambridge have like sold out their away end, haven't they? So I do feel like they could have a little go in terms of a team ain't going down or going up. And Ironside, I think, will be dangerous for set pieces. I think we will win 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah, I think I've got from a corner or something. Yeah.
And I've got an additional question. Are you going to be partaking in the poolside antics like darts, beach ball, French croquet, or whatever, or boils, or whatever it's called?
They have got like, you have to book everything on this app, right? They've got like a darts hour.
You're going to be doing it? You're going to be up there, in the old Speedos, like the old dads, beer in hand. Oh, son, give us the dart.
I am taking my trainer so I can go. You've got a very good gym there, so I'm going to go on a treadmill on that. Yeah.
On holiday?
Yeah. This body fat don't look after itself. Come on.
No. Tim is expecting the floodgates to open. We've got 2-1 from Nicky, 2-1 from Carl, 4-0 from Mark Dowling, who's going to be over for the game, by the way. Mark, come and see us.
Yes, enjoy, Mark. Sorry, I can't meet you before the game. Gutted.
Yeah,
enjoy
absolutely. And there we go. We're done. We're dusted. Another great show. We're back again on Friday with a press conference reaction show. Lewis is joining us in the chair instead of Matt. Brilliant. We have got our away day guide tomorrow with Amy looking at Shrewsbury or Shrewsbury, however you wish.
I'm not going to Kids Club, Lewis.
You're not going to Kids. Right, fair enough. And Safety Guy says we're overdue a big score, 4-0. Have it. He has been the Peaky one by the order of Mr. Mark Tuxford. Recover soon. I hope you really kick its backside. He's off to sunnier climes. And if you want to go off to sunnier climes like Mr. Phillips, maybe you need to save a bit of money. And you can do so by our partner, Woodpecker Mortgages and Protection. Hello, you lovely lot. I am here very quickly to discuss Woodpecker Mortgages and Protection, run by Ipswich Town fan Graham. So you're in good hands if you go with Woodpecker Mortgages and Protection. I want to discuss the income protection service they do with you. You all know me and you all know my story. Literally, one day I went out into that big wide world, a scary world, and I had an injury which left me disabled and unable to work. Just like that, I lost my income. Just like that. That's a click there. Crazy. This may have been an answer to a prayer, because obviously when you can't work, you can't earn. And when you can't earn, your bills are still going to be there wanting to be paid, like children needing to be fed. This could have been an answer to my prayer and taken some stress away from me and let me focus on my mental and physical health. Income protection insurance, it's not for everybody, but it might be for you. So give Graham a call on 01636 337 447 or email graham@woodpeckermortgages.co.uk.